Ofel, also known as Usagi, has become a super typhoon, according to Pagasa and the Joint Typhoon Warning Center, and a rare Signal Force 5 has also been issued out here into northeastern Luzon. Signal Force 4 across a good portion of Cagayan, even over towards the east coast of Isabela, but the wind signals dramatically drop off the further you go towards the south and west. The main reason is this is a very compact storm system, so don't be completely spooked unless you are in the Santa Ana area here of northeastern Luzon by the Signal Force 5. It is a compact storm, but it is still packing a punch. And I think even at this time, we're starting to see this interact with a bit of shear towards the north. Reason why, I actually believe this has weakened just a bit in intensity. At least it's leveled off. Just because of the shear kind of interacting with it. So thankfully, it's done bombing out at this point, but still going to be packing a punch. As I said, a super typhoon, regardless if it is a Cat 5 or a Cat 4, that is still going to be some damaging winds, specifically, as I mentioned, here into the Santa Ana area, northeastern Cagayan, along the east coast of the Sierra Madre Mountains. Remember, just a few days ago, we had another typhoon, Nika, make landfall right here, just around Dilasog, just towards the north of Casiguran. Now, just a few days later, in about 50 kilometers towards the north, we have this storm skirting. Now, I think the official track is taking it, just over Santa Ana, but I wouldn't be surprised if it actually more or less tracks here, which, believe it or not, would be better news because it would be over the mountains here a little bit longer, and the Santa Ana area wouldn't be getting kind of the worst of that right front quadrant. Now, winds are wrapping it around from the north. Big issue in Pari is the fact that the Cagayan River is trying to drain out, and you got that inflow coming in out ahead of it, creating a bit of a storm surge along the northern coastline. So it's a 1-2 punch. You got the water trying to drain out here from our last 3 typhoons. You have that storm surge coming in, and there's definitely going to be water backing up all along the northern coast here. But yeah, you take a closer look here actually at visible satellite imagery just around sunrise. The eye is filling in just a little bit. Now, what does that mean? It's still a potent and dangerous storm. And like I said, Signal Force 5, a rarity, but it means, a super typhoon with winds more than 185 kilometers per hour expected. You can see here on our microwave imagery that eye wall replacement cycle that took place, and where that 185 is actually this little itty bitty little circle. Actually, watch right in the middle of our frame. See that tiny little circle right there? That's where the core of these winds are, and if we had recon out there, that's where they'd be finding that. So yeah, it's not just JTWC though. Pagasa also saying Ofel, also known as Usagi, which means rabbit in Japanese, fun little fact, is a super typhoon. Now, the damaging winds, though, are compact close to the center of the storm, which is why I go back to this graphic. I think Pagasa is doing a fantastic job kind of illustrating the fact that 5 is here, extending across northeastern Cagayan, east of the Sierra Madre Mountains. But once you get out to like Iligan, the Quayan area, into Isabela, they're just under 2, and that's probably where you're going to max out on. And then once you get further towards the south into La Union, over towards Pangasinan, no signal force warning. So this is really just off towards the north. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe parts of the Babayon Islands gets into signal force 5 since northeastern Cagayan's already there. But yeah, it's going to be a long day for our friends here in Santa Ana, where damaging winds over 120 kilometers per hour. That is typhoon strength. Very well likely, of course, lightning, winds, all of the mess here with this storm system as it nears landfall. And meanwhile, it's going to turn towards the north and likely impact Taiwan and maybe over towards the southern Japanese islands. And at the same time, of course, we are continuing to watch our other storm system out here. God, it just doesn't stop. We have Manyi, also is going to be known as Pepito once it enters the Philippine area of responsibility. That is over here, passing just around Yap, actually, at this time. It is very far south, too far south, in my humble opinion, which is why the track has shifted significantly further towards the south. In fact, this is look at JMA's kind of forecast track. Originally, they didn't expect this to recurve, and then they were like, nah, this is probably going to be hitting Cagayan, Isabela. Then they were like, yeah, probably closer to Manila. Now I'm thinking Samar is even in the in the possibility of a landfall, or definitely the Bicol region. So southeastern Luzon, northeastern Visayas, in the threat of this storm system, which is still wrapping up at this time, but definitely holds the potential to bring a significant impact to our friends out here in southeastern Luzon, with that track continuing to shift towards the south. And here's a look at the resolution. Now, everywhere kind of color coded here indicates tropical storm strength. The darker reds indicate typhoon strength. And yeah, actually, this model is a little bit out of date, I believe. The ECMWF has shifted further towards the south, so I'm going to have to update that. But the key thing is that the entire east coast of Luzon needs to be watching this, of course, for our first storm, but then the second one, which is looking more and more likely that it's going to shift towards the south across parts of the Bicol region, bringing some significant impacts. But there's definitely still a lot to talk about here. Know your information through those official sources. Make sure you continue to check back in. I can't stress enough how, especially with both of these storms, and one is the fact that Usagi here rapidly strengthened today, and now it's slowly starting to weaken, but it's still a potent storm. This storm, the track is shifting because it's continuing to shift further towards the south. This is why, you know, we say continue to check back in. First off, here's our first storm. This is actually another look with the GFS. And the model guidance has been changing. This is the GFS heading into Saturday over towards Sunday, closer to northeastern Luzon. But then you take a look at the ECMWF, a little bit further towards the south, closer to the Manila area. So I guess that latest model run just updated, and the forecast track has shifted back towards the north. So here's the deal. I'm going to sum this up for you one more time. Let's pull back the picture here. We're going to pull up the satellite picture. All right. So for our first storm, northeastern Luzon, today it's impacting you. For our second storm, this is going to be Patito, also known as Manyi. Basically, northeastern Visayas through southeastern Luzon, all the way back here towards the north. The storm's track is not set in stone. A few people have been asking me, where exactly will it hit? If I knew that, I would be a billionaire, because I would be, despite the fact that everybody thinks we control the weather, we don't. And I would know exactly where it's going to go. I'm telling you, based on my best guess. It also has a lot to do where this storm goes, and then you have this one. By the way, visible satellite imagery, you can really see clear as day where Nika is off the coast of Hong Kong, where their warnings have been issued too, because they have a full-on tropical storm sitting off of the coast of Hong Kong in Guangdong province here in the southeastern China. I'm not giving a lot of love to this one, only because of the fact that it is there, but it's not really the most potent of storm systems compared to the, Cat 5 super typhoon northeastern Luzon is getting. But, it's not a pleasant day. It's not a beach day in Hong Kong by any means, but that thing is completely sheared apart. Low-level clouds there are exposed, and that is, you can see side by side kind of the differences between the low-level clouds exposed over Nika and then just the robustness. And in fact, if we put up infrared, you can see these clouds are just not visible because these are all low clouds. Infrared shows the cloud temperature. These brighter clouds right in here, the brighter colors indicate those colder cloud tops aloft, which is why it looks spooky and red and bad, because that's the color we chose to indicate to you that this is a big bad storm at this time. So shout out to everybody here along northeastern Luzon. This thing is near landfall. It is going to be a long day here on your Thursday as you wake up this morning. Be ready to hunker down. Like I said, the worst of the impacts will be here in northeastern Luzon. Once you get off towards the west coast and towards the south, you're going to be like, where is the typhoon? And also the big issue is the fact that there's a lot of rain on top of already flooding floods in the Cagayan River. And then we continue to watch this guy, which tomorrow we're probably going to start to change our focus on that. God, it's so much happening. The good news, I think after this, I don't see much in the extended forecast. Hooray. Like, for example, the long-range SpaghettiOs here, just kind of showing the ensembles. I don't really see much of anything beyond Manyi forming up at this time. So at least we're going to get a break for a bit here. But, of course, this storm continues to be the main topic. If you like these updates, be sure to check out our Patreon. Link is down below. Truly can't stress enough how helpful it is to you guys helping out here. I don't know what else to say with it. It is, I'm able to do what I do, and I'm trying to actually work on some new upgrades to things here. I've been trying to get some new graphic cards in here and everything like that, and maybe even I'm still continuing to work on the website. It's a lot, but it's for you guys. And some people have asked, Robert, don't ever stop doing this. I said, as long as the support's still there and you guys still want the videos, I will always continue to make these updates as much as possible. But it's made only possible by your support on our Patreon page. So thank you very much. As always, thanks for watching. Stay safe out there, friends. Oof, gonna be a long day.